All right, let's get into it. We're about to recap the race. We have all the cameras. You guys can see this. The cameras are everywhere right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we're gonna recap the race here. We're gonna go into. We'll kind of just chop it up. We don't have any exact plan. Go over our individual journeys within the race because we all had a little bit of probably some differences there. The first half of the race, I think we were all together. I don't even know. Do you guys remember what mile we split up at?
It was after the third aid station or fourth, after the 20 miles of uphill. Bro.
Yeah.
Well, no, you split up for like, I think it was after mile 5 or something, because you had to go pee.
Oh, yeah.
And then you went off, and then we're like, well,
You did a couple times.
I guess just need to
Yeah. I said I'm holding the whole race. Like I was like I'm not going.
And then you caught up at like mile.
I kept having to sprint to catch up.
Yeah.
It was awful. But
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be with the boys.
Yeah. That's probably why you were so gassed in the second half.
No, my legs were too weak for that, you know.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. We got like 3 miles in, and I was
It
like,
felt heavy, bro.
I feel like I just ran a half marathon.
That's how it was. I think mile 5 we all felt that way. We were like, it felt like a half marathon on pavement at that point already because we started pretty. It was just hard to like move around people because it was just so narrow and we were on like the hills and stuff.
Well,
so.
we should probably start with the intro of like what we did, you know.
Yeah.
Explain, get the background.
I mean, I think most people should already know by now. I mean,
Yeah, so what happened was, this guy Craig and Eric are like, hey, like you should run this ultra, and I was like, okay, like maybe, you know what I mean? And then they're like, no, we're actually running it. I was like, I really don't want to run an ultra, you know? And then they pushed me, and then like I ended up doing it, and it was
we happened to be at a gun range, and things led to the next, and then all of a sudden, it ended up to where you signed up last minute. I mean, all of us signed up. I signed up 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
You just came off a marathon in California.
I signed up like maybe 8 weeks out.
8 weeks out.
Yeah.
So all of us was pretty last minute. It's pretty last minute for the most part. But I'm curious, like now that we've done the 31 miles, what was your mindset like, or Eric, what was your mindset going into the 31 miles? Like how were you feeling going into it and then compared to like now that you've ran it after?
Dude, it wasn't a big deal to me, honestly.
The class like run back the clips of it.
I'm gonna be honest though, like the way that I was going into it was like, yo, this is Craig's race. Like I'm here to just like support the homies.
This is Craig's race.
Run with it. Well, cause it was your like thing with Aaron. I was like, bro, this is just gonna be a fun experience. Like go to Arizona, let's just have some fun. And it's a good challenge. Like I'm not big into ultra running. I think especially after doing it, I'm just like, I don't know, I'll save this for later. But that was me going into it. Just like I'm just here to have some fun. I'm gonna pace it with you. Is what I thought I was gonna do.
Yeah, you zoomed off, dude. What the heck? You left me in the dust.
But afterwards, again, the way that I describe it, I don't know how you guys felt, but for me, it's like the ultra is like how much pain can you endure versus racing an actual half marathon or full marathon is like how fit are you? You know what I mean?
I can see that.
That's the difference that I felt. So afterwards, I was like, this is cool. This was a good experience, but I think I'm just gonna stick to.
Yeah, you think that's the case though? I mean, like,
ultras.
for instance, the person that ran the 50 miler, that person finished like at the same time like we did or better, right? So it's like they ran 20 more miles. It probably wasn't that painful for them. It was how fit are they on that scale.
That's true. Maybe it's a different level of fitness.
I think it's a different
type.
level.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's just interesting, like your body adapts so much depending on what you're doing. Those guys, like, I mean, there wasn't that many other guys out there that were like, like Brady, obviously Aaron, like us running it. Other than that, like the actual like trail runners, they just have such a different build.
Oh yeah.
They're all just like.
It's like runner build.
Yeah.
Runner build,
like
skinny fat.
Gazelles. Yeah.
Exactly, skinny fat.
Skinny fat, yep. But no, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I don't know. What did you guys feel like you hit like the sticking point? For me, I feel like when we split up, you guys were gone, you went ahead, you were behind us, Aaron was behind us as well, which Aaron's not here for the pod, unfortunately. But it was like mile 20, maybe 22, kind of when I met up with Phil on that like one of the last aid stations, and I was feeling it. We had just gone through all the ups and downs, the crazy elevation, and my cardiovascular was fine, which was the hardest part, but my legs were just so cooked. I was just like, trying to pick them up and not trip was just tough.
Oh yeah.
What do you feel like was like the sticking point?
Bro, the hardest part was, I mean, I felt like from, what was it, like the aid station we were at with Brady, we cruised, you know, miles like 8 or 10 to like 16, we
Dude,
cruised.
yeah, you were in the front. I was like,
I felt amazing.
Cooking.
And then like we hit an incline for about 5 miles in sand and gravel, uphill, and it's not a gradual thing, you know.
No.
Like, it was like legitimate uphill, and there's like these little tiny dips and valleys where you have to like kind of use extra energy to get up these hills.
Yeah.
And it's actually way harder than you would think it would be, you know, especially because like up until that point, cardio, I think for all of us was fine.
Yeah.
But you have to, and this is where Aaron benefited. He had strong legs. So
Yeah.
Dude, strength training went a long
yeah, the
way.
cardio, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill Aaron. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
run like, you know, it's fine. But my legs literally couldn't handle. I have not hit a leg day in 2 years. You know what I mean? And so going
Don't expose yourself.
like I'm wearing pants.
Yeah, we need to talk after this.
You know what I mean? But it was actually, we got up that crazy uphill. You know, everyone's like, all right, we're
Yeah.
walking. Like it was literally a mountain. You know,
Dude,
but
you didn't walk like most of it.
yeah, but then on the downhill,
it's so
everyone's
steep.
just flying down, like one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Don't slow down.
We were
You know what I
zooming.
mean?
Yeah.
I literally couldn't go down the downhill because my legs were just
Same.
fried. Like
Yep.
they cramped up my entire quads on both, and I just had to sit for like 10 minutes. And I'm watching everyone just jog by me downhill. I'm like,
What mile was that at?
I want to say like 23, something like that.
Tough.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, I got 8-10 miles left. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, oh, I made a mistake, you know?
Yeah.
And then I ran into a guy at like mile 26 or something, gave me an element, it was fine. And that's when I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I had the right
So-
electrolytes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
once I did that, I ran the rest of the race, like last 4 miles or something.
Dude, it made such a big difference for that. Like comparably to like half marathons and any other like shorter distance races, you can get away with. I'll say that you can get away with more. I feel like
What?
where like get away with more of like slacking on some different areas and like because it's not as long and drawn out. With this race, it was like so long and that like if you didn't properly hydrate and fuel in
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning, like
You
it
were
just
cooked.
you're out there for
For
6
sure.
hours. It just like it catches up with you. You're in the literally and there's only what was there 4 aid stations?
Yeah.
5 or maybe more, but there was like very minimal aid stations, so you were in pretty much the middle of nowhere. And if you didn't properly fuel,
Yeah, that's what
start
that's what happened
cramping.
to me, bro. I mean, I was like, damn. You know, it was tough. But I will
23
say,
was after the like huge incline, right? That was already on the way
I was
down.
on the way down.
Yeah, that was the faster miles. I
Yeah,
remember.
it was like from the top of that mountain, it was like 2 miles to the next aid station. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be fine. I'll just jog downhill, get some peanut butter and jelly.
Yep.
Yep.
Couldn't go down the hill. Not working. So,
Yeah, it was kind of like like in between where I was trying to like lean forward to let my body kind of just momentumly go down while also not trying to eat it because like
Yeah.
you're like mentally there, but like your legs are so like tired that you're just like trying not to, and you're jamming your feet into rocks. And I think that was the thing for me that I didn't like, none of us expected. I don't think any of us actually looked at the terrain before signing up. Like I didn't. I just signed up. I was like, yo, sign up, sent you the link. You got the
I
link.
saw the up and down.
We all just signed up. We knew there was gonna be a little elevation, but I don't think we knew we were gonna be like doing that crazy in the mountains with the rocks and like if you didn't look at your feet the entire time,
Yeah.
you like you were rolling ankles, like trying to film even parts of the race was so hard because I mean you would just there was people eating it all over the place.
I think we did roll our ankles, like probably all of us. Like,
Yeah.
I almost fell.
I have a
Pretty
question
early in.
though. I mean, that I had an epiphany. I think it was like mile 20 at that aid station. You know, before like the up.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, what do you guys feel like you learned about yourselves from this race?
Just got that dog.
You got.
Where's my mind? He's got that dog, man. I don't know.
That was definitely one of the hardest things I've done.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
maybe not like the hardest, but for sure like top 10, like hardest things, maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to
yeah.
give a reference, I ran a half marathon a week prior at
Yeah.
at 1:38, and like I was like I redlined, like it wasn't super easy.
What is that minute per mile? Do you know?
You're moving, bro.
It's
That's
like
like 7 something.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick, yeah.
Around 8, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I was like, all right, well, ultra will be fine, and the
Yeah.
cardio was fine, but it's literally that many
Just
miles
effort,
if
yeah.
you don't prep.
Yeah.
So
How did you feel about it?
I felt like, I don't know, I feel like the biggest thing that I realized is that like, it's kind of the same mindset I have when I go into any of these events. Like even High Rocks last year, when I did the like marathon, it's just like, I'm just going, it's just, I've already finished in my mind. Like I'm just going until I'm done. Like I'm not going to stop. I throw up, I hurt, whatever happens, something like you are going to have to literally like, they're going to have to force me not to finish.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. If they forcefully like DNF me and make me like medically reason to have to get out. So I think like that was the mindset. Like what I've learned is that like if you put your mind to, like, if you like literally just strategize and then execute, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
So I think that just reconfirmed myself again that like I can put myself in hard situations and then
Yeah.
come out on top.
Dude, we were literally I was talking with Phil about this, where it's like that non-negotiable mentality of like, dude, this is the outcome that I'm getting. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
whatever comes, like this is just the outcome
Yeah.
I'm getting. That's it. You know what I mean? It's like I did that with the marathon because I was like injured a month before and everything, and I was like, I don't know if I could do this or whatever. And I just decided like a week before, I'm like, I'm doing it. Like this is the time that I'm hitting. I'm gonna finish it. And then you look back at like this is why I love running and stuff, because you can take so many lessons from the race, from the preparation to like every other aspect of life. It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, any other thing you want to achieve, you have to have that same mentality of like, this is what I'm getting, period.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the same mentality I had to going into it. Plus, when you're in the middle of the desert, it's not like you can really stop there.
You can't stop.
What are you gonna do?
No, yeah, I was gonna say like if you didn't
No
like,
one's gonna come get
dude,
you.
you're in the like you're miles away from anything. Like,
Yeah.
it'd take you have to get a chopper out there just to get you.
I did the math because I was like, all right, well, the only thing I can do right now is walk until I like fix my hydration at the aid
Yeah.
station, you know? And so I was like, all right, well, it's like 20 minutes a mile for walking, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, it'll take me, you know, an hour to get to the next one, but like, fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like, I'll get there and
Just
then
keep moving.
I'll
Yeah.
be done, you know?
Yeah,
so
it's like
sometimes
one
it's
step
like,
in front of the other.
yeah, so sometimes things just happen. We're like, okay, well, I guess this might take longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Which, like, low key, being religious and believing in God, like that's happened to me so many times in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how much do you like? You say like, okay, I'm gonna get this. How much do you stick to that until you get redirected to something else? You know what I mean? Do you just always go for it? You always pray for like what it is you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you leave space at all for God to kind of like play and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's kind of especially like the longer or like time frame you're looking at, like if it's like a 5-year goal, it's like you kind of have a rough idea, but there's so much that can change.
Yeah.
And I think you get so much more wisdom from God through that time frame too, where it's like, oh, I think I'm actually called into like this other thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, for a race, for a marathon, it's like I'm not negotiating with myself. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm gonna do 3:30 for that other marathon. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna stick to it. Where it's like this ultra, we said we're gonna finish it. There's no question. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys don't self-sabotage ever? Because I feel like I did this in school where I would purposely not study that hard because I could like be like, oh, I didn't study that hard, but I did better than like 90% of the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's like you're just cheating yourself because if you compare yourself to other people and you do better than them, that's still not as good as you could do
Yeah.
if you actually committed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you guys never deal with some stuff like that?
I think everyone does. I don't think there's anyone that's like exempt from that. I just think you get better at like picking when you're doing it. You like kind of get you're good at getting perspective on your own like self and realizing like, oh, like I am falling back into these patterns, and then taking a step back and reanalyzing and saying like, oh, was I just like kind of going through the motions of this, or like holding myself back from going even all in? It's like when you were a kid, like, right? It's like, don't be the tryhard, but like, dude, be the freaking tryhard. Be the tryhard. Like when you get older, it's like, be the fucking tryhard,
dude.
like as much as you can
Facts.
in all aspects.
You know, but how do you like make that actionable? Because so like, you know, this has happened to me. Like this year, fitness kind of fell off for me. It was second, you know, and day to day, it might be like, all right, well, I'm gonna try. Maybe I missed today, whatever. You know, I'm still working out, but I'm not like, you know, 6-7 days a week kind of thing. Like, how are you actionably doing things to make sure that doesn't happen?
I mean, I always personally like to do this. It's like with anything in life, I always like to say like sometimes like the pain of like staying the same has to be like greater than the pain of change. And I think a lot of times where like you touch a stove, right, for example, and if it's on, it's hot as shit, you're gonna take your hand right back off. A lot of times like missing a workout or not doing this thing with your nutrition, or maybe like not messaging your family, whatever the thing is, and not doing it, the immediate pain is usually like not there. It's like more delayed. If you do it long term, it's gonna have some effects to it, but it's really not that immediate, and it's not that bad of an outcome. I like to exacerbate these things as much as I can. So like, if there's something that I wanna have happen, and like, I keep going back, and maybe I sleep in, or maybe it's missing a workout, I make the like consequences worse. Because if you miss a workout one day, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Miss it 2 days, 3 days, and then like until you start missing consistently, it's really not the worst thing, but how can you exacerbate that? Maybe every time you miss a workout, you have to pay your least favorite sports team and like donate to them. or you have to do like it's making it worse. So every time you have to do it, and maybe it's like you gotta Venmo Eric $2,000 every time you miss a
I
run.
like that option.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but hear me out though. Like, it's just like exacerbating the pain of like when you do that thing, and then it makes you take that. Like, so I think that's. I mean, we're humans. We're gonna be more wired for convenience, but that's what I like to do. It's like kind of having like a habit contract to like, if this happens, you have to do this, or you have to have like a worse consequence because just not doing it clearly. I mean, when you're not in that bad of a spot, that's how you get to like really like excellence. I think is because like when you start becoming a certain level of success, even with your fitness, it's like, how do you not get comfortable?
Yeah.
It's making like like you said, those things more consequential than just like, oh, I missed my workout.
You know, for me, I feel like I did get to a good point where I was like 190, lean, strong, you know, running, dunking. I was doing like everything, right? And I was like, well, what do I really have to show for it? You know, I'm still broke. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to focus on business and get my money right first, you know?
Yep.
And then that's taken priority. Other stuff's gone behind. This might be cope, but like, how do you kind of like separate from just, you know, letting like one thing fall behind? Like for me, in my head, it's like, okay, if I run 10 miles in the morning, I'll be tired and not as creative with business or something. Like these are probably excuses, but do you think there's any validity to like seasons or going in and out, or do you think you should hit everything every day?
I think there's phases, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you were fat and overweight, then I'd be like, yeah, bro, like you gotta, like, come on, bro. Yeah.
Time for a new phase.
But if you're like aware of that and you're like, yo, this is maybe a priority in my life, but it's not as high because there's this other thing, which is, you know, getting your money right, which is more important. Like, I see nothing wrong with that as long as you kind of maintain it. Because I feel like everybody has that, where you go through those phases in life where it's like, this is the top priority in the moment, but then a year or two goes by and then it's like, no, I kind of need to switch. Like, it's important to me, I'll maintain it, but this is the priority. Because I think trying to like balance all of these different things at one time is tough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other thing is, this is why it's good to, like, I'm such a big believer in environment and the people that you're around too. You're around like Craig, you're around me, you're around other guys who, you know, go to the same gym, where it's like, you kind of realize like, yo, I gotta step it up too.
Step it up.
Dude, like, you're already in the right place to like level up in that aspect of life. Give yourself like 2 months, you'll be back on it. Just because it becomes normal. Like when everybody around you is like, oh, this is what we do and this is just how we train, it's like, oh, okay, whatever, yeah, I'll just step up to it. You know what I mean? Even unconsciously, you'll.
What phase are you guys going into for next year?
I'm kind of going back into work phase.
Yeah.
Bro hit like, you know, just, this guy's lean and shredded, you know what I mean? It's like, that's peak, you know, we're going back to work.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with him though. It's like it's understanding that it's going to happen regardless. The scales will tip, just not letting them tip too far to where one completely slips. And that's where people mess up, is where they like over index in one area for way too long, and then they sacrifice family, relationships, and other things. And like, you maybe have to do that a few times to figure out where that fine line is for yourself and not pushing things along. Because then if you do that too much, then it starts taking away from the other areas too. If you start dipping too much with the health, then it takes away from your ability to perform in the work.
Yep.
So then it's like kind of finding that like, and it's just what you said right now. It's like you realized it, cool, and then you change it.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is.
I struggle with that so much. I mean, you know, you got that Tim Grover book over there. I don't know if it was Relentless or Winning, but Tim Grover says, what's the number on a perfectly balanced scale? 0, you know? So if you do have that balance that's perfect and you're trying to make people happy, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're not going to break past people that are actually dedicating 12 hours a day to something. So when I wanted to do basketball, that's what I did, you know, work out 2-3 times a day, you know, shooting, workout, lift, whatever. And then, you know, with gaming, I was like, all right, well, I'm doing 12 hours a day. Like, how am I going to beat the guys that are doing 15 hours a day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes if you're choosing something that's not you going to your job, you have to just do more. You know? But at the same time, there's going to be time in the day for an hour of workout, or 45 minutes, or 30 minutes. And so that's where it's like, all right, Owen, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today was the first time I looked in the gym and I saw those pictures. I was like, this is really not me from a year ago. Like, you know, the strength was there.
You're aware of that too. That's what's like, most people won't even realize that. Like, oh, whatever. You know, but.
I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, yo, low key, I am 25, you know, like, I'm not 22 and in college and just like in insane shape anymore, you know, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
You're only 25, bro.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's not sorry, Grandpa.
You're not old, bro.
No, but yeah, I think it's like you said, just kind of making sure you're not overly indexing one area. Like when you do, like you can go through seasons of that, right? But it's important to always revert back to it. And like you said, the people around you will also like call you out on that. It's like, oh well, why don't, or like even today, let's go get some workouts in this week. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. But going back to the race,
Yeah.
I want to hear.
Sorry.
What was the funniest? Was there any funny parts? Like what was the funniest part for each of you guys? I'm curious to hear from you.
Oh,
Funniest part.
We were laughing the whole time, I swear.
Dude, it is a funny race,
One of
man.
these?
Bro, I was just laughing. I don't know, man.
You look like a Spetsnaz freaking like
Yeah,
KGB.
my
Yeah,
fit-
KGB.
I'm proud of my fit, bro. It was solid. Shoot, man, what was the funniest part of the race for me? I don't know.
you won't know what it was for me.
What?
Like prior to the trip, like Aaron, sorry if you see this, but we're like Aaron, he's a bodybuilder. He hasn't ran in 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be last. And I'm at the aid station, like hydrating. Aaron just jogs past me.
Aaron just passes you.
Aaron's like, hey man, like it's tough out here, right? And just kept, I was like, I literally couldn't jog at that point. I was pissed.
Oh, man.
But that was some good irony.
That is really funny.
I was like, all right.
Aaron, if you're watching this, bro, you crushed it. Went from bodybuilding competitively to running. Never ran a race to running a 50K for his first race, trail race. Insane.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
But honestly, it is tough to say like the exact the funniest moment. However, I think for me it was like funny, but also like kind of like cynical in a way. When that dude at aid station, and we went up the mountain. we went up the mountain, right? We go up this entire mountain. It was like a freaking 5, 6, maybe even longer, 6 mile just incline. It's brutal. This is like the first real like
Hell.
pain and hell of the race, and we're fueling back up. We're about to go. The guy at the aid station goes, "Oh, you're chilling. Like it's like next 4 miles to the aid station. It's like way more mellow. It's way more easy." I'm like, dude, you're the man. Thank you for saying that. We get back on the trail and run. Little did I know that mountain we were looking at, we were going up, and it was just straight pain and literally way worse. He was just trying to psychologically tell us it was better than it was, but like it sucked. That was probably like the funny, cynical
Yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
I low-key snapped there. I was so pissed.
Where? Like
You were pissed about it, yeah. You were
Like,
pissed.
he told me, and I was like, this whole time, the past 20 miles have been leading to that mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I actually legitimately thought we're gonna go around it or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe go down a little bit. And he's like, no. We're going over the mountain. That was when I was pissed.
Yeah.
And I started freaking out. I called my dad. I was like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I was
remember,
so
we're
mad,
still
bro.
together.
Yeah. You're like, Dad, this freaking sucks, man. It's like my legs hurt.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, because like the past 6 miles before that were,
We
I mean,
walked
I was
out.
already like,
We were power
walking.
hiking, yeah. It was
Yeah, I was already like, like I'm not
Dude,
doing it.
that was tough, bro.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's crazy.
what about you? You have any other funny moments you'd say? Other than just
I think it was-
dusting us?
There was so many. No, that was more fun than funny, but.
Good for you, man.
There was so hey, bro. That's a good time. I can't pinpoint one thing, dude. There was a lot of things for the first 20 miles at least. The first 20 miles, there was a lot of like. You say something funny, whatever. You said something funny. We'd pick at each other, and it was just like it was a good time. But then those last 10 miles, when you're just by yourself trying to get through it, and then you're also like, oh, let me see if I can beat Craig too. There's no fun in being.
You're like, I know he's catching up.
Yeah, bro, because you came back fast. I thought you were gonna be like, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes after me.
No.
Bro rolls in like 2 or 3.
Dude, the downhills, I was just like praying I wasn't gonna hit face plant. Not play 2 out again.
Same. What was like the hardest part for you in the race though? Where was like did you hit a wall at all?
It was when I met up with Philip actually,
Okay.
because those that were watching, we couldn't like film such a big section of it just because it was so hard with the terrain and also just like all of the runners, and there was like a 50 miler going on, the 5K, 10K, there was a bunch of stuff going on, so it was kind of tough. But when I met back up with Philip, when I last saw you, right before we were at the aid station, I just got to the aid station, you were like, and just started dipping, and I was like sick. So I got there, and like when I hit that point, I was already having like quad cramps that were like starting to
Yeah.
come up, and also my hip flexor was like getting a little cramped, like never like fully seizing, but I could definitely feel it to where there was like little indentations happening on it. And I would say that's really where the pain was like, I mean, because before it was like all dull pain, it sucked, don't get me wrong, but like this is where it was actually like, yo, I can't cramp.
Yeah.
Like I was like, actually like it was hurting, but I was like, I just can't fully seize up in the middle of the desert right now.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then even onto the rest, because it felt like when you got to the top of that one hill right before the finish line, it looked like the finish line was like right there. You know what I'm talking about? You came up towards the end. It was like right at the end of the race.
But then you had to make
It looks like it's right down, and then you just go
Yeah.
like back and forth, and then just
Dude, I
up.
hated that.
Dude, it was that was probably the hardest part, honestly, because it was really hot at that point in the day. I was like overheating. It was getting to the point where I was like, because I was just trying to finish, and I was like, oh, I'm right there. I only got one more mile. Let me just like let me just dog it. And then I was just overheating. My head was so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a pounding headache after. So
Man.
Yeah, and then Philip like sends a video to the group chat. He's like running with you, you know, just
Oh, yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
It's like,
Philip ran
where'd
like-
Philip come from?
How many miles did you run?
9.
9 miles with cargo pants on
In the camera.
and a camera in
They
a
were
bag,
falling off the whole time too.
dude.
It's like pulling them up.
Shout out to Philip for capturing the whole thing. Philip, you're the man, dude. Running into he literally had cactuses all down his legs because he was just running into them.
Did you roll an ankle too?
Yeah, like 3 times. And it's like
Crazy.
you just like talk about rolling ankles. Like it was, you just got used to it at a certain point.
I mean, I was rolling them left and right at that point because like I'm not wearing high tops like I'm wearing right now. Like you're just, I think it just got to a point where it wasn't bad enough, and they're also just so like just numb at that point. I feel like I was just like stubbing my toes on different things. Rolling on the side, but nothing too bad. I know your ankles, you're hurt a little bit after, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that's like my ankles were just not. I think it was strength training. Like they just weren't ready for all of the different. Because your legs are literally.
You weren't hitting your calf raises, is what you're telling me.
Probably, bro.
Bro's just like me.
I mean, I got in the plane. I was telling Phil. I like looked down at my feet. I'm like, yo, my ankles are massive right now. Like they were so
Like
swollen.
Campbell's chicken noodle soup type massive.
Bro.
Like, what are we talking about?
they were very swollen. Like I would like touch them. I'm like, yo, that's not right. But then it went away in like 2 days.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, you did haul ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of
Were
bad.
your ankles chilling or?
Yeah, they're fine, bro. I walked. I walked like 10 miles.
Smart man.
They're fine, yeah.
Hey, what are we doing wrong? We should just.
It's like y'all ran,
Bro, yeah, it's not a race. You know that.
It's not that serious. My ankles weren't. I mean, they were tough for sure, but like I feel like they recovered pretty quickly. Like I was back in the hit and like walking around pretty normally. So
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny? My mom was like tracking my bib number, you know?
Okay.
And like 5 miles in, she's like, "Did you finish?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like mile 22. I'm like, oh god,
That's
you know?
crazy.
Yeah. They just like gave up texting me. They're like, all right, you'll figure it out.
it'll be a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part for you though?
I don't know. I honestly just thought like I'd be fine. I really did.
Going into it?
Because I'm like, pretty much everything I do, like minimum, like I could go pick up any sport and I'll be good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
And so when I was like physically unable to run down the hill, when I was like, all I have to do is just go down.
Yeah.
I don't have to run up.
Yeah.
I'm just going. And when I physically like my legs seized, I was like, damn. Like that was really mentally tough, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I was very unhappy with myself, you know. And I was like, all right, well, fuck, we gotta finish. I can't end at the mountain, you know. No helicopters coming, so that was mentally the worst part for me. But after I got down, I met that Marine, and he was telling me, he asked like what I do for work, whatever. We're just chatting. He's on the 50 miler. He's already caught up with me, right?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
he's doing the 50.
Oh yeah, he's tough. And he was telling me a crazy story. So he was a Marine, and he said he started his business in construction like a year and a half ago. I was like, oh damn, like, you know, like what do you do? He's like, oh, I was a government employee. But he didn't say, you know. And I was like, okay, well, good time to get out of it. Like, you know, Elon's gonna cut all the government spending or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I was actually a Marine, and like, I was like, oh wow, so when did you start ultra running? He's like, about a year ago. And I was like, so what happened like a year and a half ago for you to do completely different things, right? And he's like, well, you know, I'm a Marine. I lost like 9 of my friends to alcoholism, cancer, suicide. I was like, damn. And he's like, I was going down that path, and I would have if it wasn't for running.
Wow.
He's like, you know, I was. He said he was like 300 pounds or something, and
Yo,
when we saw him, he
wow.
was like 160. You know, and he's like, I need this. He's
Keep
like,
it running.
He's like, I run 8 miles every day without missing. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, like that's a crazy story. You know, just for like a year and a half ago, close to suicide, trying to
Yeah.
kill himself with alcohol. Friends are all dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, running is a crazy thing.
Oh yeah.
You can tell a lot of those people that run, it's just all mental.
Oh yeah.
Mental.
They just need it.
Yeah, they do.
They got problems going on.
That's why they call it working out. It's working out your stuff.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
point, actually.
Facts.
Yeah.
I like forgot about that.
Yeah. It's definitely
Good way to
huge.
put it.
What about, sorry, side topic now. What about the guys shooting guns middle of the race?
Yo, that was crazy.
There was people literally with rifles in the,
And we
we're
heard
in
it.
a flat part, and we just hear gunshot go off. We're like, I think you were on like, because we all kind of like
I
FaceTime
was
our
FaceTiming
parents,
my
or he was
mom.
FaceTime his parents. Because we're like running at like a just jog pace where we can have conversations, and we just hear a gunshot go off, and it was like right next to us.
Yeah.
I mean, like how far away do you think they were? There's a couple
100
guys.
yards, bro.
Bro, yeah,
100 yards.
not even, bro.
Yeah.
It's close.
Not even 100
And
yards.
I turn around now. Granted, they probably had like 22s shooting small game.
Yeah.
You know, but it was enough where you're like, that was a gunshot, and that was pretty close.
Yeah.
So,
And towards the way we were,
and then you look, and they're just walking around with guns right where we're running, and it's like, damn.
Yeah.
They could just misfire.
Rabbit
We're
season.
running in circles around these people.
Exactly.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why I was like, yo, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, huh.
I wonder if they got in trouble for that, because like that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like they were really close, just shooting, like just lighting them up.
That was crazy, bro. That was.
Yeah, I wish they got some.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, they have California quail out there too, which when I was younger, I used to take my pellet gun and shoot them
Okay.
and eat them.
Are
It's
they
like
good?
yeah, amazing, bro.
Yeah,
Teriyaki, it's like teriyaki chicken.
I used to shoot squirrels with pellet guns. So.
There we go.
Yeah. Little squirrel still.
Coming for you. I'll be talking to Elon about PETA.
Oh
What
man.
can be done?
All right. So we went over funny moments. Crazy moment, gunshot. Any takeaways from the race? I'm curious. Anything that you feel like you brought back with you here that you're like, wow, I really want to make sure, like, I don't know, maybe you thought about something like I want to do this better, or like things you've been like slacking off on. Is there anything that you felt like you took away from the race when you were kind of, because we had what mile did we put our headphones in? Most of the race we were like no headphones. We were just,
I think it was like right at the half.
No, I thought it was like 20, like after that aid station where we, right? Or no,
We did
it was before.
Yeah.
it was right before we went up the hill.
We're like,
Yeah. Okay. So we did like a half
15,
marathon,
yeah.
15 miles with no headphones, and then after that we did headphones. But we had a lot of time to think.
yeah.
What do you guys got? You come home with anything?
For me, it was just. This is why I like to do these things too. It's like a good reminder of, like, I can set my mind to something and achieve it, and I can prove like to myself like, oh, this is what I'm capable of. This is the
Which
pain
is
that I'm
anything.
Anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
This
that
is who
was-
I made myself to be.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That was the biggest takeaway, is just a big reminder of, hey, I can set my mind to what I want to, and I have the capability of figuring it out, thugging it out, and just enduring.
Thugging them out.
Yeah, and just getting it done, getting the job done. I think that's like, this is why I always tell like, everybody should go run a marathon. It'll do so much for you,
Yeah.
where you'll just finish and you'll be like,
Yeah.
I really just did that.
This
Yeah.
whole time you
There
think
was-
it's so hard, and
Yeah.
there's movies about how hard it is, and it's like
Yeah.
you can just go do it. Like
Exactly.
pretty much anything, you just go do.
Yeah.
Just go do it, and you're like,
Sign up.
it gives you like those wins, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That you can, when you have a low period in your life, you can go back and you can look, and it's like, I
Yep.
did that, I was able to conquer that. It's like, okay, this is just another one of those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a huge takeaway for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, people probably ask you guys, like, oh, well, I'm sure you get it with fitness or business or whatever. People are like, well, how did you start? How did you get that done?
Yeah.
Like all these things.
Yeah.
It's like, you can low-key pick something, bro, and just do it.
Just start,
Like the
yeah.
only thing that separates like you and like that future you that has all that stuff is just picking something and doing it.
Sticking
It's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that personally with like a bunch of things, you know what I mean? And every time I'm like, all right, well, realistically, there's just a paywall of effort that I have to pay, or I have to pay someone to teach me how to do it, you know what I mean? And It'll take more hours than anyone else is willing to put in, but like, I already know I'm willing to do that. So like, now it's just a time thing. I got a year or 2 to wait while I do this shit.
Yeah.
And then it'll be there.
And the year or 2 is gonna pass regardless.
Yeah.
Time will pass regardless.
It's like, where do you want to end up in 2 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just looking back at like photos of because it's been like 2 years since I moved to Tampa, and I'm like, that flew by so fast.
Oh yeah.
The next 2 are gonna fly by even faster.
I feel that.
Do I want to be
Trust.
like even more intentional
Yes.
with where I want to end up? So it's like,
Yeah.
So
time's gonna pass.
here's gonna be the hard thing for you, because you haven't had like a long-term girlfriend. It's very much going to, you're gonna want the best for her, right? So you're gonna put more time into her. And so like, you know, there's a limited amount of time in the day kind of thing. Like I'll put a lot of time into Megan because I want it to be good.
Yeah.
So it's like, how rigid can you be and prioritize yourself while also still having a good, healthy relationship? And your person, she's going to be on your team and support you and let you go. But still, you're naturally a giver. Like you're going to want to support and help, you know, and spend time. So it's like, how rigid can you be, you know, here and there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's going to be the next thing I think for you, because the girl's going to be like, bro, this guy's got, you know, he's got it figured out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's exciting. That's like the ultimate thing for like, I mean,
Yeah.
dialing all like health, wealth, relationships,
Yeah.
like just another challenge.
Got to prioritize relationship with God. I think that is
Facts.
definitely major, because
Yeah.
it's almost like fitness. Like if that goes, then you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through action, through act. I think we live in a world of like, I say this all the time. It's like, there's such an abundance of information. Like people will sit down and watch this entire podcast and be like, oh, that's really good. I really like that one. Like Eric just said, sign up for a marathon. And like almost 90% of you will never sign up for a marathon even after watching this and hearing all of the benefits that came along with it. So I think it's like, we live in
99%.
even more. Yeah. We live in an era where everyone's just like consuming so much stuff and like, they just don't take that first step. And like most people have more than enough information to get going on the life that they want to live.
Yeah.
They just don't take the first step. They don't take the action. They just keep getting this like cycle. I think, I mean, we're kind of doing it right now with videos. People are watching this, but like, it's important to like take yourself out of that and then live the life. I think people talk about the life, like you said, being faithful. I think it's like, no, just live it. Like, just be it. What do you mean? Like, there's no like,
Yeah. It's a decision.
yeah,
For me, I think a big thing is those little wins, like the very small ones. Tim Grover says this too. He's like, write down, track your small wins, because everyone's like, okay, well, my next win is going to be the Turbo S. It's like, that's not the win. You know, the win is like, did you go to the gym today? Yes. Check it off. Give yourself credit and appreciate and love yourself for doing that thing that admittedly is, you could easily go the other direction. You know? So it's like, I have a list. Like this morning I had like 30 things on my list that I tried to do. I probably did like half, but I'm low-key pretty happy with that. You know, I went to the gym, signed a good deal, had a great day business-wise, got content out, like all these things.
Record day. in business.
Record day, you know. So it's like, but still, there's a lot of things I didn't do, but that's top of priority for tomorrow, and then I'll add everything else that I need to do tomorrow too.
Yeah.
So, and also in my mind, that failure is fine because it's way above what other people are willing to do. You know what I mean? And I'll time block like how much things take and all that, but it's like, all right, that's still success to me because I'm giving myself credit for all these wins that are hard to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And to go off of what both of you said there, most people won't take action. It's like, don't even start with the marathon right away.
Exactly.
Do the small wins, like go for like a half a mile run first.
yeah.
When you started running, what was it like for like your first month?
Dude, I hated it.
Yeah.
Every moment of it. It's like, you go half a mile, you're like,
Still like that.
this is so weird, bro. Why do you do this? Like, I'm just gonna go live. And then you get better at it. But it's what you mentioned. It's like the concept of doing wins. Like, don't do the marathon. You're going from 0 to 1,000 real quick, and it's just like it's too quick where your brain can't even comprehend it. Like, baby step your way there and track your wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, like, I think most people don't take the action because they don't actually trust in their capability to go and complete it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you only get that through the small wins.
Yeah, and
So
the
start
small ones,
ramp it up.
yeah, because what most people do are like, oh, I need to drive this Urus, I need to do all this, and it's like, bro, you're failing. You can't. Your brain's gonna be like, oh, we couldn't do it, you know. Versus like, you know, could you send an email today? Could you
exactly.
message someone? Could you call someone today? It's like you should give yourself credit for that, and that leads to Urus. Like
Exactly.
I don't have a Urus yet, but I have a Macan, and I like it. You know what I mean? And like the you know things
Still
are
a
good.
badass car.
It's not, you know, it's it's a car I'm happy with.
Sick.
But for the point is, those little things got me there,
Yeah.
and I'm not worried about, like, I do want a Turbo S, but I'm not thinking like, damn, how am I gonna get a Turbo S Q1 2025? It's more like, you know, what can I do every day to solidify myself and grow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that's what it is. It's like compound interest. That's the best part about it, is like every day you stack those things. And I mean, the biggest thing for me, like when signing up for these events and like putting hefty goals on there, is like you said, reverse engineering it back to like what are the small basic things you can do daily for the daily small wins. Like what is it? Don't press snooze today. People don't realize
Tough.
how much it eats at your like subconscious if you fail on those things. Like they don't realize like, oh, I'm not confident. It's like, oh, I gotta lose this weight because I'm not confident. It's like, yeah, like that could help, but it's actually even deeper than that. It's deeper into the sense of like, you just keep breaking promises that you're making, like even subconsciously, like, oh, I said I was gonna do this and you don't do it. You might not think about it, but like your body and your brain keeps a tab on those things. And I think it's so important. I say it dwindles people like really low until they hit like a breaking point where they're like, oh, then you just gotta stack one step in front of the other, because otherwise you look at the whole staircase, like you said, you just get overwhelmed.
Right, and that's actually, you know, it's called the region beta paradox, where you say that the pain has to be so much worse in order for you to change than stay the same.
Yeah.
So sometimes people have to actually go all the way down. You know what I mean? And that's when they really feel it, and they're like, okay, this is changing, and tomorrow I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've noticed that with myself, everything translates. If I break a promise to myself, like you know, if I eat something unhealthy, then it's like, it's that much easier because I know I'm not supposed to, and if I fail and I do it anyways, then that makes it easier for me to fail going to the gym. It makes it easier for me to fail to sit down and record content. It's like all these things because you're letting it go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, I agree. And like the marathon, setting that up, like doing it, running it, I always like to say like I'm more interested in like the man I will become through going after that pursuit than the actual thing in itself, like knocking it off the bucket list. So like the medal, everything else you get with. I mean, ours was like a little wooden thing that we saw. We got a little like wooden fox
I'm
or
not something. gonna lie, we finished it. I saw, I was like, this is really the medal, bro?
I was like, no.
What was it? It was like
It was wood, bro.
it was a wooden like.
Here's the
What was the animal though? It was like a wolf
Coyote.
or a coyote? Oh, a
So
coyote.
bad. But anyways,
Yeah, it was like regardless, that didn't matter. It's about like the person you become on pursuit to those things that I think matters the most. And like the reason why I want more and why I want to succeed and like get better with my fitness, get better, like better, is because I just want to see like the type of man I'll be at that level. I want to see myself in my lifetime get to like think about the guy that has the family, got the wife, the kids, like that are happy, that are like treated well, while your health is also in a good spot, you're doing well with your career, you're serving people. Like what is that like? Think about that man itself and like who you have to become there. Like that's why I look forward to that the most. Like, and then I set these goals and things and like I become that person over time by doing it.
exactly.
And ideally, you're almost untouchable by external forces at that point. You know what I mean? Like anything that happens is irrelevant almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're talking about with your family. It's like you've built 30 years of your life, or however long it takes you, maybe 24. You know, I don't know. But
Could be next year.
But if you spend all that time becoming that person, then it's like someone says something in an Instagram comment. It's like, okay, you know what I mean?
All right.
But it used to trigger you because there used to be validity to what they're saying. But if there's no validity anymore because you've proven it to yourself, then
Facts.
it doesn't matter.
Huge.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. What was your takeaway from the race, though? Going back to your question.
Man, we wrapped around a bunch here. We're like,
Good.
It's a good one, Ed.
It's like we go off on some trail and come back.
yeah, literally. I mean, takeaway definitely very similar to you. Like I definitely took away the same thing, that if I just put my mind to something and I set it, like I can push through it and I can grit something out.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I'm gonna take a different turn to this and just like, so way back in it was either 2021 or 2022, I think, summer of 2022, I went to a business event. It was like a business fitness kind of like networking event thing in Austin, Texas. And I went there and I actually met Coach, which was my running coach for this run. And he kind of like had asked me some deep questions. He's older than I am, by about 10 years or so. And like I had achieved like some level of success, just a pretty good amount for my age at that time. And I didn't really have a ton of like close friends. I had like maybe one who I just work out with every single day. And other than that, I didn't really have like, I saw a post where it was like tag somebody or tag 5 friends and like for a giveaway. And it's like not even that I wanted the giveaway, but it hit me for whatever reason. I was like, damn, like I don't really have 5 people that I can even tag right now that wouldn't be like weird that I just tagged him in something.
Yeah.
And it hit me, and I was like, what the heck? Like that's not a good thing. And I was doing well, right, in every other area of life. And at that event, he asked me, he was like when you get to the top, who's gonna be there? Like, what do you like? Is that the life that you want to do? Is that what you want? And then ever since then, it's been community building. It's been like anywhere I go, I went to Vegas, lived there, get closer to community, build a community. Same thing here in Tampa. You guys, like, I've realized in doing the race, kind of bringing it back to that, you guys signed up. You guys didn't really even know me that much. I mean, like we literally just kind of got to know each other. Like I just moved in here, and you guys just signed up. We all showed up, and we just supported the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
So I think it made me realize that like, no amount of success can replace that. It's like the community, the people around you, like having positive, like that is massive for me.
That's
like
awesome. That's
it just reconfirmed that. It's something I already knew, but it reconfirmed that like, okay, I'm doing the right things. Like if everything else isn't doing too well, like at least I know like that area of my life, I've like flipped back to a good spot, and I see how much it can positive. Like I mean, look today, we were like pushing each other in the gym, do more weight, like push harder, and like it makes such a big difference.
Here's what I'll say. Everything you're talking about, like I totally agree with. You know, I think your world around you is just a, you know, externalization of like who you are, right? So you're saying, oh, you guys signed up. That's because of you. Like that's leadership on your end that made us want to do that. You know what I mean? And so you're a leader. Like you've been in those positions. That's your entire business. People look to you, right?
Yeah.
So like everything around you and the communities you're building, all that is just a reflection of like internally who you are. You know what I mean? So it was easy for Eric and I. We're like, all right, yeah, let's run it with Craig. That'd be great. That'd be healthy for us. You know, it's a great opportunity for us to be around you and running something like that.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I mean?
Aaron did it to me. Aaron freaking, he got us all into this mess. Like my legs still kind of sorted out. That's because of Aaron.
Yeah.
But
Are your legs still sore actually?
no, I'm just messing.
Mine are sore from Pilates, bro. I'm not even kidding.
All right, next challenge. And we're taking on Pilates, guys. I'm just kidding.
You guys should go to one though. Like,
Oh, I want to try it. I've never tried it.
it's tough.
I bet it is.
I've heard that it humbles men.
Bro, I was furious too. It doesn't make sense. You're just like doing like lunges and stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, post race now. We're about a week. Was it a week or two? What is it now? A week.
Week and a half ish.
Week and a half. That's crazy. The time's flying. But
9 days, something like that.
now that we're after the race, gotten like kind of settled in, recovered our bodies. What's next?
I already have my races lined up. I want to hear what you guys are doing.
What's next?
Let's
hear it.
What's lined
Let's hear it.
up?
Let's hear it. Come on.
So I have Gasparilla half next year.
Where's that?
Hyrox. Gasparilla's here.
Yeah.
In Tampa.
I'm
Essentially,
asking. I'm letting the people know. It's a Gasparilla. Like I don't know what the frick that is.
Gasparilla half here in Tampa. It's the biggest race of the year. Come through. It's too much fun. You better sign up, and you too.
I'm going to.
Even just here.
I have the link.
I'll do it. I'll do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I think this is going to be a big thing for me. I'm going to step into a training plan and actually
Yeah,
like
bro.
commit, and
Do it.
I'm going to try to go for like 120 or something like that. You know
Do
what I
it.
mean?
Bro, we'll
'Cause,
run,
like-
we'll run it together.
Yeah.
It's not that many miles per week either. They have to do. It's really not like
It's
compared
just
to yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd love to actually commit and see what we can do, you know?
Bro, let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do sub 132, so probably like 125. But yeah, Gatsby, half for me, that's just all speed work, and then Hyrox in Miami, which I heard you're going to also.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Also
Megan
do
wants to do the mixed high rock.
Bro, do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And she's sending me all these videos. I'm like, Megan.
So our what's next might be the same. We might be hitting a half marathon here in Tampa.
She says she's like, it's in Miami. I'm like, fuck.
Dude, and it's such a dude. I'm telling you, it is such. My coach did it last year, and it's literally on the beach, on South Beach. It's like
Bro.
beautiful. It's beautiful. They have cold
What time of
plunges.
year?
Wait, is it outside or inside?
It was outside.
Oh.
I don't know if it's different. Wait. It might be different. It might be different this year.
Okay.
But it was outside.
Okay. Anyways, we're doing Miami regardless. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I'm doing the doubles. I got a buddy of mine. Are you doing single?
I'm doing doubles.
Okay.
Yeah, with a buddy of mine
Sick.
in Miami already.
And then Chicago, October 2025. That's what all this is leading
Hell
up to
yeah.
for me. So,
What's the goal for Chicago?
Boston qualify.
So it's sub 3?
Sub 255.
Damn.
55?
255.
I'll be in Boston to support you, bro.
Cooking.
55.
Is Chicago a faster race? Do you know?
Yeah, it's very flat.
Okay.
Very flat compared to Long Beach. Long Beach actually had some elevation. Bro.
California,
It's like
man. It's
500 feet of elevation, but towards the second half, like you're feeling it.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Chicago's flat. So
Yeah, California, like all beaches, it's flat, like because
Yeah.
we're from Florida, you know. But no,
Yeah.
like California is mountains.
it's
Oh, yeah.
really-
Different.
Yeah, the mountains just go right into.
Exactly. What are you guys doing then?
I'll run Gatsby.
Yeah, I think we're both doing that.
Yeah,
Just
and then
come down.
maybe High
Just
Rocks
gotta sign up.
with Megan.
Fire.
Megan and I gotta lock in and train though. You know, it'd be fun to train.
Pilates is not going to cut it.
It's not gonna cut it.
How do you train
Dude,
for
she
High
is
Rocks? Pull the Pilates.
She is in great shape though,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it'll probably be fine. But yeah, I'm more worried about me.
It'll be more just
Bro,
fun
you'll
though.
be fine.
It'll be
I
yeah.
heard High Rocks is tough.
But when you're doing doubles, you split the
You got
exercise.
that dog in you though.
Yeah. We'll be there. I'll be screaming, yo.
Yeah.
Like I'll be screaming at
You
you.
don't want Craig screaming, bro.
I screamed at you during the workout. I was like,
Oh yeah, that
it was
was.
a good weird.
I was talking to someone. and I was like,
No, I was on my phone. Caught me slacking.
dopamine max.
Exactly.
Anything after that? We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, summer. Ideally, I do want to spend time in Europe. You know, and travel.
That's fire.
So that's the goal, is really for summer. Or when my lease is up, somewhere around there.
Beautiful.
So, we'll see. I know you got to do that.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's
Yeah,
next for you?
The half marathon, which I'll sign up for tonight. It's in the confirmation. Don't worry. Don't worry. And then
We go.
Screenshot.
yo, cut the cash. Then Miami doubles. From there, I've already done the High Rocks, but this time I actually like want to train for it a lot more too.
Yes.
And then definitely still going to likely do rim to rim to rim of the Grand Canyon, whether you guys are joining me or not. I know it's a longer trek; it's more of a hike than an actual run. But the coaches at TNE, Tyler, Aaron, I think they're both going to do it as well. So we're gonna try to get that set up, and then
What time of year?
that's in I think May. Might be a
Yeah.
birthday, rim to rim to rim for me. I don't know. We'll see. But
Big 2-4.
way to show out. So we'll have that, and then honestly, like other than that, right now, just we'll push to 210. Probably have High Rocks. I want to do like High Rocks, probably be around 210 by that time in weight,
Nice.
and focus on that and speed. I just want to get into like less mileage weeks, get speed, really get a good base there, and then
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. I feel like what happens is I set those, and that's like all of Q1, and then like I'll like get into Q1 a little bit, I'll tackle one, and the next thing you know, it's like, yo, you just send me a link, and it's like,
All right.
next thing you know, we're running in Switzerland or something, and then like,
I'd be down, bro.
yo, I just say one thing, it's like everyone's like, yo, get the link. So we'll see, but for just Q1 for right now, that's probably what I'll do.
Good, bro. Good plan.
Yeah,
It's a good year ahead.
I know.
Excited for us.
Got a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
Time to work.
2025.
You guys got any last words for the people?
Yo, check out my. No.
Just starts plugging.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm good. That was really fun. You know, do fun things with your friends that are maybe not so fun, but
I think Devin LeVake, you guys know who Devin LeVake is, right?
Yeah.
He always says like there's different types of fun, like type 1, type 2, and type 3 fun. For him, type 3 fun was like climbing Mount Everest, right? Where it's like, it's not really fun,
Yeah.
but like if you kind of get where my head's going, and then type 2 is where it's like kind of what we just did, and then type 1 is where it's like actual, like if you do like a
splash and giggle in the water.
no, like something like that, or like we ripped the sauna, or we ripped the cold plunge together, just got a workout in. It's like a painful, but like not really. And then I think that's what it is. It's like type
Yeah.
3 fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his communal stuff, the sauna and cold plunge and all that.
Yeah.
I'd love for us to make something like that in Tampa. There's opportunity, or wherever it is.
Yeah.
But I think that community thing is,
Oh, it's massive.
especially as society progresses how it is, people will probably rebel and come back to that more.
Yeah.
100%.
No excuses, run club.
No excuses, run club. Like
Ooh, I could cook.
I like that.
I could work.
Fire.
be screaming at everybody. Give me a microphone. It's gonna be a bad time. I'll be ripping backflips and like.
All right.
But no, that's it. I mean, appreciate you guys tuning in, hearing us chop it up about the 31 miles we just ran in Arizona in the freaking heat in the mountains, and just do hard things. Do it. Put yourself in positions to grow and stop making freaking excuses.
Facts.
There you go.
All right. Cool.
Late.
All right, let's go to bed.
Bedtime.
I'm not going to eat.
Yeah, it's true. We didn't get our post-workout nutrition.